HVAC techs. HVAC techs with chiller experience. HVAC techs with general experience. These positions have great work environment, excellent benefits, retirement, and insurance. Apply online at tpsd.org. Terrebonne Parish School District, a great place to work.
U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is a highly versatile company that will ship any size, any weight, anywhere. U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is a full-service logistics provider focused on expert packing, crating, and transportation solutions. The local oil and gas industry utilizes our professional crating and shipping services that support their offshore and international needs. U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is authorized and recognized to construct shipping crates built for exports. U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros, now at our new location at Capitol Boulevard.
For adventure, for climbing, for splashing, for towing, for premium, for capable. The GMC AT4 lineup, premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or get 2.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty models.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you're in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
West Park Self-Storage is a state-of-the-art storage facility with clean, convenient, and secure climate-controlled storage. Our professional storage counselors are here to assist you with all your storage needs. We now offer after-hour access, and you can access your unit 7 days a week. We also have parking for RVs, boats, and cars with 24-hour access. West Park Storage would like to thank you for 20 years of business.
Pay below MSRP at Terrebonne Ford.
And lock in your rate.
That's right. Get 0% financing on 4 of our most popular models.
Plus, as an added benefit, get pickup and delivery with scheduled service.
Come see us at Terrebonne Ford in Houma. Terrebonne Ford delivers.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very much. And it's always nice to bring to you something new. Our community celebrates and embraces those things that are new. And if you're going to make something new, why not make it something about king cake? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Bayou King Cake Festival. Very excited to have Deanna LaFont with us. Hi. Deanna, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Deanna, the Executive Director of the Lafourche Education Foundation. Sitting next to her, Channing Parfait, the President of the Lafourche Education Foundation. Welcome, Channing.
Thank you for having us.
All right. This is something really cool. So, Deanna, tell me a little bit about how it came to be that we have now a Bayou King Cake Festival.
So Lafourche Education Foundation has been around since 1997, and we were struggling, like a lot of nonprofits, to identify a cool new fundraiser.
Right.
So our board, about 3 years ago, way before I was involved, came up with this idea. And we all know how the last 3 years have looked.
Yes, we do.
So
tainted.
Yes, terrible. So the idea kind of sat for a little while and
percolated,
and we talked about it a whole lot. And then this year in September, we said, "Hey, we're doing it." So it's been amazing. The community response has been awesome, and we are super excited about the event.
I like it. So Channing, I know you've been involved for quite a while, been on the board for several years. But now as the president, this has got to be really cool that you get to kind of be the president as we welcome in this new fundraiser with this King Cake Festival.
Absolutely. We're very excited to have the community involved for this. Like Deanna said, we've been kind of sitting on this idea for 3 years. So to have it, almost time, ready to go, it's been very exciting. It's more than just a King Cake Festival, though.
Right.
We also have, really cool things going on. We have a cocktail trail with several restaurants in our Thibodeau area. So it's kind of like the lead up to the event.
The cocktail trail. Oh, my goodness. I like that. And so for people that want more information, let's kind of show that flyer, Jen, if you don't mind. Let them know what they can expect here. And it's the Bayou King Cake Festival. It's going to take place on Saturday, February 4th. music by Nong Nu and Dewao Matos. You can vote for your favorite king cake. There's a children's parade. Let's talk about what is going to lead up to this wonderful festivity.
So our number one exciting prayer for everybody in the audience out there is let's pray for good weather.
That's exactly right.
That's going to make or break our event.
Yeah.
But the event's going to start off with a children's parade. It's a 2-block wagon parade. We have some children being pulled. We have some local dance clubs and schools that are participating.
Okay.
And
where's that going to start?
So it is going to start at the old Capital One building on 2nd Street in downtown
Okay, old Capital One building on 2nd Street. Okay, just because I want people to kind of know who are going to go out and watch, they need to be able to know where that is and where that starts.
Yes, we'll be meeting at the corner of West 2nd and Patriot Street downtown.
Okay, very cool. So that starts there. Lots of kids, lots of involved dance groups. That's awesome.
So we're going to parade on down to the festival gates. The festival is going to open. Mayor Kevin Claymore is going to toast the start of Mardi Gras in Thibodaux at our festival. So we'll have all of the royalty from the 6 Thibodaux crews.
Oh, wow.
6 Thibodaux crews up there. We'll do a toast. We'll officially start the Mardi Gras season, and then we'll eat a lot of king cake.
I know that's right. And this is Kevin's first opportunity to kind of welcome and bring in Mardi Gras. We got a chance to spend a lot of time with him, and congratulations to him again. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah,
I've been knowing him a long, long time. And so after that, they had the festival grounds, which is where?
It's right in the heart of downtown Thibodaux, on St. Philip, starting on St. Philip all the way to St. Louis.
Oh, wow. That whole block. That's awesome.
Yes, and we have 23 king cakes for you to try.
Okay, so bring your appetite when you're coming on Saturday, February the 4th. You can vote for your favorite king cake, and there's 23 of those.
Correct.
All right, so even if you found one of the first few that you really like, it's about tasting, not eating. 23.
Yes.
Different bites of king cake. Boy, that's got to excite some people.
And not to worry, we'll have other food as well. We'll also have jambalaya sold by LEF, but we'll also have the Mardi Gras crews also participating with food as well.
Okay.
So if you're having too much sugar, we also have,
balance that out with a few carbs, kind of soak that up. What were you going to say, Deanna?
So with your ticket, you get 5 king cake tastings. So
okay, thank you. I appreciate that because that was a little overwhelming at first.
So it's
5 king cake tastings with your ticket.
Yeah, so you'll have a little 2-ounce serving in a 2-ounce cup. So if you need reference to what that looks like, it's the Jello shot cups.
Okay. So we're doing Jello shots of king cake.
Jello shot cups full of king cake.
All right.
So
cool.
you can try 5 with your ticket. You'll get 1 voting doubloon that you can put in your favorite. But if you want to try more king cakes, you have the opportunity to buy a tasting for $1.
Tasting for $1. So your first 5 with your ticket, and then the other 18. Just $18 for 18 more tastings. Jen, put that back up one more time. Want to let people know this is up there. Let people know, if you don't mind, Anna, how they can get in touch, get tickets, and find out more about y'all.
So the best way to find out information about our event is through the Lafourche Education Foundation Facebook page.
The Facebook page.
But really, we've gotten so much coverage. If you Google Bayou King Cake Fest, we are up on probably the first 10 things that come up.
Wow. See, that's really cool. I love the fact, because there's a lot of interest. Obviously, there's a lot of people going there. So either Facebook, or you can just put in Bayou King Cake Festival. And again, that's Saturday, February the 4th. You can head out there. The children's parade starts early, and the festival is going to last from when to when?
From 2 to 5.
2 to 5. Wonderful afternoon, tasting king cakes. You get your first 5 with your ticket. And how much are tickets?
Tickets are $10 in advance. You can buy them through Eventbrite, or $15 at the gate.
$10. What's a bargain? Come out and have some fun. Enjoy that with the kids. And so the first inaugural Bayou King Cake Festival on Saturday, February 4th. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about it. And thank you for what you do with helping kids in education. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Very good. And that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more here on HTV.
Whether it's price, service, or selection, you gotta come to AJ Doman Chevrolet. We are South Louisiana's newest business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. Can't find the car you're looking for? Let us order it for you.
And remember, no credit, bad credit, we can help.
AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge.
Give us a call today or visit us online at ajdomanchevy.com. AJ Doman Chevrolet, the dealership that works for you. Highway 182 in Berwick.
If your business needs serious hustle, our internet has plenty. Switch to Rev Business All Fiber Internet. With fiber optic velocity close to the speed of light. Sign up and get 3 months free and 30% off. Build your plan at letsrev.biz. Let's Rev. Whoever said you can't have it all, never had internet that could do it all. Switch to Rev. No contracts, no data caps, no nonsense. It's the high-speed internet you need. Build your plan at letsrev.com. Let's Rev.
For adventure, for climbing, for splashing, for towing, for premium, for capable. The GMC AT4 lineup, premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or get 2.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty models.
This is the Treeinator. I'm back. If you have some sick old girly tree, chop it now before the hurricane kills it and blows it on your house. Don't hire some out-of-town girly man to hustle you out of your hard-earned money. Tell them, hasta la vista, baby. That me and my team of military veterans come and pump your tree up and prepare a defensive position for future threats. Even if your tree is behind enemy lines and the bullets are flying and the bombs are going off, we will get your tree down.
Insurance companies often deny, delay, don't pay enough. Hurricane Ida has decimated Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. By now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by their insurance companies. Don't give up. At Waits & Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal experience and ability to make them pay. Get the help you need. At Waits & Downer, it's our goal to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. So once again, don't give up. That's exactly what the insurance companies want you to do. Call today for a free consultation. We are local and we are here to stay. Let our years of experience work for you. Pick up the phone, 985-876-0870 for a free consultation.
It's going to take, Keith, 5 years to build out this project. And I'll show you in a few slides a little video on the current construction, but it is scheduled to be complete by July of 2027. So it's being built. This is 8 miles for $460 million.
Okay.
The winning contractor is a Louisiana company named James Construction out of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
They built part of the southern segment, so they're very familiar with the region.
Right.
You know, they have a lot of people housed in Lower Lafourche that are going to be their crane operators, their cement masons over the next couple of years. While they need to finish it by July of 2027, they could finish early.
Right.
That would be great
Sure.
because then we would have that structure in place before the 2027 hurricane season.
Right, and that would always be the goal, right? So they finish it just a month or two earlier, before June 1st, we're in good standing. And
that would be wonderful because, you know, other than that, we're relying on the old highway that, as you know, over the years, it floods when we have storms come up against it. And it will be a wonderful asset to the region. So, you know, it's going to support many sectors of the economy along the coast going forward for the next generation, whether that's the energy sector, the fisheries sector, ecotourism to get down to Fouchon and Grand Isle,
Sure.
and even the coastal restoration economy, because we're going to have CPRA on behalf of the state doing state projects down there, and you need access. You need to get those dozers down.
And it's going to be so much better access than we have now.
Absolutely.
And it's been 25 years in the planning, and it's going to take 5 years through the construction.
That's correct. So that's going to wrap up by 2027. So I'd like to move on to the next slide that shows you a video clip, a YouTube clip. And what you're looking at, everyone, is you're driving south down the 4-lane in Golden Meadow. Here's where the highway will fork off of the 4-lane.
Okay, very
and
nice.
So you see cranes. Now, these cranes are up in the air on temporary piling, and they're going to build the bridge underneath them.
Oh,
that is
cool.
building in an environmentally sensitive way, so you don't have to build it from barges. You build it from on top. It's quite an engineering marvel.
No kidding.
And here they're going to continue south in the Levee Barrow Canal. You see the levee on the right.
On the right, gotcha.
Yep. And coming up is where it's going to cross over the levee and head down to Leeville for 8 miles. So we had to cross over the levee where the Corps of Engineers said that we could cross over it. We're building a T-wall in the levee under the highway, and that will raise that levee protection in that section to 21 feet.
Okay.
And the highway will go over that 21-foot T-wall, and it'll clear at 22 feet.
Oh, my.
That way, Keith, if the South Lafourche Levee District ever gets a federal appropriation from Congress to raise the levees to 20, 21 feet down there, they're at 16 currently.
Right.
Then the section under the highway itself will already be done with that T-wall. And, you know, the highway will not be a burden in raising the levees in the future.
Yeah. And it's so very wise, because I can tell you, historically, in Louisiana, we see these projects where what was done in yesteryear wasn't supportive of the long-range thinking for what needs to come. That is wonderful to see that they're putting that in, and the availability to go to 21 feet.
Absolutely. And, you know, in planning this, we had many, many meetings with the U.S. Corps of Engineers, with the South Lafourche Levee District, with Louisiana DOTD, and with the Federal Highway Administration to say, how do we properly plan this to best serve the community for another 100 years? So that's why the T-wall is being built in, so that, you know, as South Lafourche gets money to raise that system, the section under the highway will already be done.
Wow,
so
very exciting.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And on the next slide, I just wanted to acknowledge that we had so many partners in this. You know, our local governments have helped. The Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, through 4 governors, have been involved in this project. We had private industry. We've named some of them on the slide, but they provided funding to keep our activities in Baton Rouge and Washington, D.C. going so that we could educate policymakers in D.C. on why LA1 was so important. You know, many people serving up there on the energy committees know of Fouchon and the Gulf, but they had no idea that we had a highway servicing it that Huey Long built in the 1930s to go party on Grand Isle. You know, and in this era now it's a major energy corridor. So there was some educating to do to policymakers that sit on transportation committees and with the US DOT saying, look, guys, LA1 at the end of the day services 20% of this nation's energy. And it's very important that we maintain access to the Gulf through Fouchon, because when we have these storms and drilling has to be stopped in advance of a storm, as it is ordered by the Department of the Interior, they have to shut down the wells. The country needs the capacity to get back to Fouchon to reactivate that production 2 or 3 days after the storm does. Because if you don't, you start seeing the cost of oil go up nationally. You know,
well, it's a financial impact of $500 million per day.
Yes, it is.
Port Fouchon.
It is.
And if people just don't always realize that.
That's right.
Why that's important. And so LA1, very, very important to continue for what we need for commerce, for oil and gas, and for the country.
Right.
20%.
And also, I think it's going to play a tremendous role in alternative energies. You know, the U.S. Interior Department is looking at federal leases in the Gulf for wind.
For options, right?
You know, when companies are going to want to bid on a big wind project that might cost them $1 billion, they're going to say ahead of time, how are we going to service this?
Right.
Well, they already have partnerships with vessel companies out of Fouchon that are servicing their deep water drilling activities, and they can say, hey, you know, we can work out of this dock. So
how we can make it work.
Exactly.
And so very, very important. So the LA1 project moving forward, anticipation 2027, hopefully finishes before hurricane season that year. So really good information. We're going to take a short break.
Sure.
When we come back, we're going to talk a whole lot more about MAC.
Yes.
And about what people really need to know about what's happening over the course of that.
Sounds good.
All right, very good.
All right.
All right, guys, you don't go anywhere either. We'll be right back with this edition of Going Public. Don't go anywhere.
West Park Self-Storage is a state-of-the-art storage facility with clean, convenient, and secure climate-controlled storage. Our professional storage counselors are here to assist you with all your storage needs. We now offer after-hour access, and you can access your unit 7 days a week. We also have parking for RVs, boats, and cars with 24-hour access. West Park Storage would like to thank you for 20 years of business.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Alford, your host for To Your Health with Terrebonne General Health System. Our weekly show provides the latest in healthcare specialties only offered by Terrebonne General. Join us each Wednesday at 7 p.m. to stay up to date with the latest innovations in health. Terrebonne General provides healthcare breakthroughs in cardiology, cancer care, women's health, health and wellness, and much more. You don't want to miss our next To Your Health. See you then.
You Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is a highly versatile company that will ship any size, any weight, anywhere. You Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is a full-service logistics provider focused on expert packing, crating, and transportation solutions. The local oil and gas industry utilizes our professional crating and shipping services that support their offshore and international needs. You Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is authorized and recognized to construct shipping crates built for exports. You Drop Shipping and Crating Pros, now at our new location at Capitol Boulevard.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you are in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
If your business needs serious hustle, our internet has plenty. Switch to Rev Business All Fiber Internet with fiber optic velocity close to the speed of light. Sign up and get 3 months free and 30% off. Build your plan at letsrev.biz. Let's Rev. Whoever said you can't have it all, never had internet that could do it all. Switch to Rev. No contracts, no data caps, no nonsense. It's the high-speed internet you need. Build your plan at letsrev.com. Let's Rev.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Going Public. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside. Thanks for joining us. Joined by Mr. Henri Boulet, who is the Executive Director for the Morganza Action Coalition and the LA One Coalition. But let's talk a little bit about this Morganza Action Coalition and what you're seeing and working on right now.
Absolutely. If we could go to the first slide on Morganza, that would be great. What I'd like to talk about is the entire system, Keith. So
Okay.
In yellow, you're looking at the 98-mile alignment of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Risk Reduction System. And it's basically an alignment that includes levees, locks, floodgates. And at the end of the day, Keith, it's going to protect 200,000 residents and businesses from the 100-year storm flood.
Right.
So notice that on the right, it connects in green to the South Lafourche system.
Right.
So it's really, attaching to the South Lafourche system, it's going to make our whole region a lot more resilient to hurricane flooding. We should not have that the flooding that we experienced, back for Rita
Right.
and so forth.
Yeah.
And we're getting support from Congress now. The system achieved its first start in 2020.
Right.
We were one of 7 levee systems in the U.S. applying for our Corps designation that received it.
They got it.
That was huge
Yes.
because from now on, the Corps will fund 65% of this project.
Which we've been funding on our own.
Which we have for years.
Our parishes have been doing that.
And our state have put in $1 billion on this alignment.
Right.
So going forward, it's very important that the Corps be engaged on this. So moving to the next slide, I'll show you who the partners are right here. And so our federal partner is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Right.
Our local partners are both the Terrebonne Levee District and the North Lafourche Levee District.
Right.
And our state sponsor is the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority.
Right.
So moving on to the next slide, when people in D.C. say, why Morganza to the Gulf? And it's because this system is going to provide the needed 100-year storm surge protection for 200,000 residents, and it will enhance our entire workforce resiliency. Why is that important to D.C.? Because this area strategically is important to the nation for energy security, for the seafood we produce,
right,
and for ecotourism as well.
Right.
It's a bigger economy than we all know of. So, as things change on the world market for oil and gas, and we're seeing that happen with Russia, with the war going on, the Gulf becomes even more important because at the end of the day, again, it's providing 20% of the nation's energy. And to keep the Gulf resilient, you need a workforce that is resilient.
Right.
And to keep that workforce resilient, you don't want to have the workers you're relying to go back into the Gulf and activate energy having had a flooded home. So Morganza to the Gulf is going to be tremendous in doing that, making the workforce more resilient. And moving on to the next slide, with every administration in D.C., they have different priorities.
Right.
And acknowledging that the Biden administration is looking at how they can put 40% of the overall benefits in investments in climate and clean energy to communities that are disadvantaged.
Okay.
They want to put 40% of that money into disadvantaged communities. So they're calling it the Justice 40 Initiative. Well, when you look at the Morganza to the Gulf alignment and you say it will benefit people in these census tracts, and you look at the stats on the 2020 census, it is truly benefiting people who are disadvantaged. We have over 20% of our residents in poverty, 24% are minority population, which the Biden administration wants to help out.
Right.
And when the other scoring is, how does our community score when nationally, when you look at our risk from natural disasters? Well, without Morganza, we're vulnerable to storm damage.
Absolutely.
We're vulnerable to the point of being 92nd percent in the nation to our buildings being vulnerable to destruction, and 95th percent in loss of life. So we're conveying this. The Pentagon is aware of it through the Corps of Engineers, the Office of Management and Budget, the White House is, and with that, we're getting investments that are historic, that are going to be made in Morganza. There's $400 million coming for the project, and it's going to build significant levels. But as well, we're conveying to them on the next slide the environmental benefits of building the Morganza levee system. And when you look at these two photos, they're taken from the exact place 9 years apart. And this is on the inside of the levee. And the reason the dead marsh on the left has come back to fruition to the photo on the right in 9 years is that the system can stop large influxes of salt water going into the marsh and killing our freshwater marshes. So, when you have hurricanes come with a surge of salt water, we're able to close off the system and protect those pristine marshes. Now, Terrebonne Parish hosts one of the largest eagle populations in the nation. We're conveying this to Washington because, the American eagle is a treasured thing for our nation, right? And everyone loves it. And so we're providing an example of how an environmentally friendly levee system can
support that.
Foster that.
I saw a bald eagle in downtown Houma this week.
Yes, so it's happening
How
all
beautiful that
over.
is. It's wonderful.
So moving on to the next slide, Morganza to the Gulf is going to be a winner for our community, okay? There's a lot of activity happen. I talked about this New Start status in 2020. We're now an official Corps project. That was very competitive to get. We were one of 7 New Starts given nationwide. So, and again, it comes with the 65% Corps payment from this point out. Also, number 2 there, $1 billion in local investment already made by our parish governments, our levee districts, and CPRA. There is no other levee system in the U.S. that has this level of local matching funds provided. Then in fiscal year 2022, our federal year, we were able to be successful on a $19 million earmark. And for fiscal year 23, we have applied for a $31 million earmark to build another section. We think with the changes in Congress coming this January, that $31 million will be successful too. And we have our Congressman Steve Scalise and Garrett Graves pushing for that hard.
Yes, they are.
I also mentioned to you the fourth point here, $368 million in IAJA funds coming. That is the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Right.
Those funds are going to be used to build 6 segments of Morganza that we feel we're most vulnerable in.
Right.
So we had a strategy meeting with the levee districts, CPRA, and the Corps, and we said, here's what we want you to build first. And part of that is going to be the floodgate in the intracoastal in LaRose, because if you remember for Ida last year, we had 50 homes flood in northern LaRose that we never had before.
Right.
So every storm is different, and we're seeing that we have different vulnerabilities that we have to address first. And then over the years, we'll raise those levees to 18 feet. It's going to take time. Because when you build a levee, you got to let it settle, and a few years later, you come back.
You can add on to it.
And if we could go back to that slide for one last point I want to bring out, we have a record $15 million in state appropriations coming this year.
2022.
In 2022. And I want to say we're very grateful to our state legislative delegation.
Sure.
They're very committed to this project because they want to see this happen for the community.
Right.
So, thank you to that entire delegation of the Bayou region in Lafourche and Terrebonne that support the capital outlay request. It's very important. And then finishing up on our last slide here,
We're not done yet, right?
Yeah. I want to leave everyone with a photo of what will be the Home of Navigation Bubba Dove Lock. As you know, on the left, the floodgate is already in place.
It is.
The lock structure on the right will allow vessels to come in when that floodgate has to be closed due to high tides. So the lock will perform its mission as a true lock.
Around the gate.
Around the gate. So the lock contract is going to bid, I believe, in January coming, like 2 or 3 months. It's going to be a $400+ million public bid process.
Right.
So you're going to see contractors in the region working on that. And we'd like to invite companies to join the Morganza Action Coalition. Please get in touch with me. My email is at nicholshenri.boulay@nichols.edu. We'd like your support. We'd like individuals to support it too. With that, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. And thank you very much. Some wonderful information. Thank you for the updates and the specifics of where we've been, where we're going, and our vision. So
yes.
Thank you so much, Henri.
Thank you, Keith.
All right. And that will do it for this edition of Going Public. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues. With years of experience applying Floor Shield products to both homes and businesses, you can trust our team to provide high-quality results. Call for a free consultation.
For adventure, for climbing, for splashing, for towing, for premium, for capable. The GMC AT4 lineup, premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or get 2.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty models.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you're in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
If your business needs serious hustle, our internet has plenty. Switch to Rev Business All-Fiber Internet. With fiber optic velocity close to the speed of light. Sign up and get 3 months free and 30% off. Build your plan at letsrev.biz. Let's Rev! Whoever said you can't have it all, never had internet that could do it all. Switch to Rev. No contracts, no data caps, no nonsense. It's the high-speed internet you need. Build your plan at letsrev.com. Let's Rev!
Whether it's your home or your business, BioPure specializes in disinfection application, along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Call BioPure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
And if we don't choose to know God's Word, to believe God's Word, and follow God's Word, we're going to be a sitting duck for all kinds of confusion, all kinds of disorder. Those are really important choices that people have to make.
And these choices are difficult. Who am I going to marry? What kind of life am I going to live? How am I going to raise my kids? What am I going to do with my time, my talent, and my treasure? And I have to make a choice today. Jesus says to each one of us, I came that you might have life and have it to the full. The question is, do we want it?
Welcome, friends. I'm Peter Herbeck for another week of The Choices We Face. St. John Paul II said that every Catholic, deep in their hearts, knows that Jesus Christ is risen, that he's alive, and that he's acting in the present, and that he's changing lives. Today's program is about how the Lord uses ordinary people to be sources of grace for people in need. And our guest today is Michelle DeLaura. Michelle's going to share with us a story about how God reached out to touch her daughter. But before we get there, Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I connect very much actually with the way you just started. God is alive in my life, and I've seen him work in miraculous ways. I'm a married woman, my husband Tim, and I've been married for 36 years, and we have 2 children. And
now, how'd you meet Tim?
We met as Peace Corps volunteers in Africa, actually. And then continued in Africa, actually got married in the church in Kathmandu. It was a big conversion story, and that's how our journey started together.
Peace Corps workers, all right, great. Well, tell us a little story now about the story about your daughter, Angela, which is going to be the focus of our program. It's an amazing story.
Yes. Well, our daughter, Angela, is an amazing young lady. She, when she was 17, she graduated valedictorian of her high school and came home. She graduated a year early, so she was going to take a gap year, do some mission work. She loved the Lord very much. I was very involved with leading young women and setting up camps for girls and that kind of thing. And she was riding her bicycle home from work one day, about 2 months after graduation, and she was hit by a reckless driver. And we were waiting for her to come home, Tim and I were, and as dusk started to fall, and we couldn't get a hold of her on her phone, and they told us she'd left from work already, my husband went out to find her, and when he got it was just a quarter mile from our house. The road was closed down, and the police were there, and they told him they had just taken a young lady to U of M hospital who was very seriously injured, and we knew that was our daughter. Her bicycle was there on the side of the road. So he zipped home and pulled me out of my garden where I was watering flowers, and we headed to the U of M hospital.
So when you got to the U of M, what did you see? What happened?
Well, they wouldn't let us see her.
Okay.
She was in such bad shape, and they were fighting for her life right then. So eventually they let us see her, and it was very traumatic. And they were doing everything they could do, intubating her. She was having a hard time breathing. She'd obviously had a very serious accident. She was very bloody. And we tagged along through the whole night as they tried to save her life during the night. And providentially, there was a cancellation for a surgery the next morning so that they could go in and actually remove part of her skull. I guess this is a common thing. I certainly hadn't known about it before, in order to let the brain swell, because it was going to swell. And if it would have swelled with the skull still there, death would have been imminent quickly. So they zipped her into that surgery real early in the morning. But it was touch and go then. She was in ICU, and it was just touch and go every day, and all night for those days.
So how long was she in the ICU, and how long was she in the hospital?
Well, jumping ahead, she was in the hospital it was August 25th when she was hit 7 years ago, and she got out on November 1st. But she was in the ICU probably for 2.5 weeks. Mm-hmm.
And each day, what was it like being there each day? What were you seeing? What were you experiencing in the moment?
God was present with us. I'll say that. There was an outpouring of prayer. Just all the young people. She was so connected with so many young people. They started immediately holy hours and prayer vigils right outside of the hospital. She had so many people coming in and gathering in the hospital waiting room, praying. For me, it's sort of a blur. My husband and I drew very near to each other, and just worked as a couple, being with her. We never left her for a minute. She always had somebody with her praying. But it was traumatic,
How long before she was responsive? Was she responsive to you?
No.
Tell us
she was in a
about
coma.
that.
She was in a coma.
She was in a coma.
Yeah, she was in a coma. She tried to come out of a coma after about 5 days, but the doctors knew her brain wasn't, she wasn't ready for it. So they had to put her back in. That gives you a little sense of who she is. She's a determined person. That fight for life was there. But she had to be put back under because the seriousness of her brain injury needed time.
Yeah. And as you were there each day, were you able to see a little bit of progress in her each day, or what was it like? It was just...
No, that first week was just, every day was just, we didn't know if we were going to lose her that day. Yeah. Because, there are monitors everywhere, but she's plugged in to so many things. But the one you kept your eye on was the brain pressure. And you would watch that, and you didn't know when it would sometimes just go spiking high. And what that meant was, brain damage and potential, death, if it didn't come back down. And that would happen every day, and the doctors would rush in and they'd try to do something for her, and many times they'd get it back down, but then the next day it'd go back up, or 3 hours later it would go back up. So one day we were sitting there. I was with my nephew, actually, because the family would come and help keep vigil with us. And it happened again. The brain pressure's up, spiking to dangerous levels. And of course, the doctors are in, a couple nurses are in, and they're doing their thing. And we're just praying. And actually, that's the day that somebody came to me and said, Mrs. Delora, there's somebody here to see you. And I'm like, all right, who is coming to see me? My daughter's on death's door. Who are these people who show up at the ICU? And then they told me his name's Tom Nemi. And I had heard of Tom's name before. I knew that he had a healing ministry, and I knew that he had been connected with some of the women that Angela had been connected with at school.
Okay.
So I went out